Much for inviting me to present today, and I'm very grateful to you that you spent your time and came to my presentation. So I'm Yelena Feoktistova, and I'm a Fulbright Visiting Scholar from Kazakhstan, and I have graduated from East Kazakhstan State University in 1998, and actually I had 2 degrees, a teacher of English and Chinese, which I never taught, and a technical translator. So during over 20 years of my career, actually I've been doing both, teaching English and translating. And so my recent consecutive and simultaneous translations were with UNICEF, because they're running several pilot projects in Kazakhstan now. And I also completed my PhD degree in Russia in 2001, and it was about multimedia English textbooks. And it was, actually I created the first English electronic textbook in Kazakhstan. Well, now I don't like it, of course, because it's out of date. It wasn't about 20 years ago. So, and in spring 2014 I took my first online course, and it was a course on assessment with the University of Oregon, and my instructor was Diana Postein. And I was very much inspired by this course, and it inspired me to do my CELTA course, and I did it in Georgia, the Republic of Georgia, not Georgia State. And then this course really inspired me, and I had very many ideas for my Fulbright Visiting Scholar program. And before speaking about my activities at AEI, I would like to share some facts about my country. And I would like to show you a video. And this is a TV program created by an American, Dennis King, who is married to a Kazakh lady, and he speaks perfect Kazakh and Russian. And he travels to different parts of Kazakhstan and makes a video about Kazakhstan and some picturesque and nice places to see. And while you are watching a short abstract from this video, could you write one fact that you know about Kazakhstan?
Or that we learned, or that we already know?
You already know.
Here I have an extra paper.
Yeah. So, it's okay.
Okay.
So, one fact that you already know about Kazakhstan.
Авторский взгляд Дениса Кина на историю, географию и архитектуру, культуру и язык казахов в программе «Открывая Казахстан».
Привет, я Денис Кин, и сегодня вместе с программой «Открывая Казахстан» мы познакомимся с Актау, городом у моря. Приморский город в Казахстане. Вы, наверное, слышали, что эта страна не имеет выхода к морю, что здесь пустыни и степи. Но главный секрет, который открывается, когда приезжаешь в Казахстан, сотни километров побережья самого длинного озера в мире – Каспийского моря. Современный город с экономикой, основанной на обширных запасах нефти, с увлекательной историей. Я давно хотел побывать в этом городе, и очень рад, что вы можете ко мне присоединиться. Актау известен своими коренными жителями, которые обожают местные побережья и убедят любого, что лучше места в мире не найти. Мой хороший друг Саламат родился здесь и любит этот город.
So actually, this is my student, and he is a future English teacher. So when Dennis arrived to Aktau, I was asked to assist them to find some people who will help them to make this program. So, and they asked for some translator or some guide, and Salamat was an ideal person because he speaks Kazakh and English and Russian and knows everything about Aktau. So I hope that we will come up with some projects that will help you to come to Kazakhstan and teach at our university and train our teachers, so you had some idea what this city looks like. So, and I will send you the link to the whole video. So, okay, do you have some facts? Okay?
Probably, I don't know, too many.
So yes,
more.
Kazakhstan used to be a part of USSR. It's the former Republic of USSR. Russia is one of the languages spoken there. So beautiful, mountainous country. Recently moved its capital city. Yeah,
That's a good.
I will also mention that. So
And we have, Jenny has one more too.
okay. So beautiful and fun. Okay, thank you. So before moving on to my activities in AEI, I'd like to provide you with some more facts. Kazakhstan is the 9th biggest country in the world, and there are 14 regions. They're like states and 2 time zones. And we have very small population, and it's a little bit over 18 million for such a huge territory. And there are 120 ethnic groups live in Kazakhstan. Official state language is Kazakh, but a lot of people speak Russian, and Russian is the language of communication. And we are making a transition to trilingualism. So by 2030, our president expects us, everybody, to speak English, Russian, and Kazakh. And science classes in school will be taught in English in 2 years. This is an ambitious plan, and they're making a lot of investments in that, so I hope it will work.
It's becoming the language of science.
Yeah.
Globally, so.
And Kazakhstan is a very rich country. We have 99 elements of Mendeleev table, and there are a lot of minerals and non-ferrous metals, oil, but because of that, some of the cities are very polluted, unfortunately. And we have many rivers and lakes, and you have just seen the Caspian Sea. Actually, it's the biggest lake on the earth, and it has salt water. Another unique lake is Balkhash, and it's unique because half of it has fresh water and half of it has salt water. And scientists still can't explain this phenomenon.
Like on one side or another, or in layers?
Yeah, the western part of the lake is fresh water and eastern half is salty.
Wow.
And nobody knows why.
Oh, that's really interesting.
And we have largest operational space launch facility. Kazakhstan is not using it, but it is renting it to Russia. So this is also good income for the country. Russian word money originally came from Turkic word, and it is tenge. Tenge is our national currency, and $1 is about 315, 320 tenge. And our economy also depends on oil and US dollar, so we had several crises because of the increase of the exchange of the rate of the dollar, because we import a lot of goods. So, and first domesticated horses and dogs were on the territory of Kazakhstan. And also it's the birthplace of apples and tulips, so the name of the former capital, Almaty, actually is translated as the father of apples. And Kazakhstan has unique climate, and if you look at the temperature, Astana, the present capital, is the coldest capital in the world, because in summer it is 108 degrees Fahrenheit, and in winter it is -61. That's why I moved to Aktau. Aktau does not have this extreme climate. Yeah, so it is very cold in winter there. And we have the highest skating rink in the world and the highest sports complex, so winter sports. So it is in the mountains, so it is a skating rink, and if you go up, there is a ski resort. Oh, and Kazakhstan has very high level of tea consumption. So it is about 3 pounds per person a year, and in comparison with India, in India it is only 1.4. And the import amount of tea is $100 million per year.
Do you happen to know what Russian tea consumption is?
No.
Oh, okay.
But I think Russian people also drink tea a lot. But Kazakhstan, even more. No dinner, lunch ceremony, everybody is having tea all the time. So, and as for my activities at AEI, I'm focused on many things. I was trying to focus on one, but so many things, interesting things happening, so I did a lot of class observation. I'm trying to identify methods for English teaching to be used in Kazakhstan. We develop cooperation between AEI and Kazakhstan universities. I'm teaching TOEFL and IELTS preparation workshops and writing a paper about online learning and teaching. Taking quality matters workshops, which I love very much, and thanks to Leslie that she advised me to take them. And also I'm organizing and moderating professional development webinars for English teaching in Kazakhstan. Unfortunately, the time of this presentation is limited, so I'm not able to tell you about all my activities. But if you would like to know more about that, you can always make an appointment with me and we can talk about it in more detail.
And drink some tea.
Yeah, and drink some tea. And I'm here till the end of June, so you are welcome. So I'm going to mention about my 3 activities here. This term I'm teaching TOEFL and IELTS preparation workshop, and actually at this moment at 2 o'clock my students started taking TOEFL PBT test. Good luck to them, and I hope the tips and strategies that I provided them with will help them to get a higher score. So the fact that I was teaching this workshop this term, and actually I have trained I think hundreds of students to take TOEFL and IELTS, though I think these tests don't teach the language, they teach only how to take the test, how to pass the test with a high score. So it inspired me to start my own online course in TOEFL and IELTS preparation, and it is how to pass TOEFL and IELTS.com. And so you are welcome to share it with your students who should take the test. So, and this is a registration form, and what will the training include. And here there are some videos in which I provide some information and some tips. So what is important to do during the test and how to get ready for that in a short time. And also I write some posts with tips and strategies in my Instagram account, which is English Online IELTS TOEFL. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to teach this workshop, because it inspired me for many things. And I hope that it will help students to get a higher score, and then they will be able to apply to the university, and University of Oregon in particular, because you have some favorable conditions for students decreasing the score. So the main goal of my Fulbright project is to help English teachers in Kazakhstan in their professional development. And in October 2017, I have started professional development webinars for English teachers in Kazakhstan with the support of KAST. KAST, it's not T, right. It's Kazakhstan Association of English Teachers. I don't know why they inverted the word order. And we already had 5 webinars, and 3 speakers in them were from the University of Oregon. You can watch complete recordings of these 5 webinars in my YouTube channel, and I'm happy to share the link. But today I made some extracts for you from the webinars, and here they are. Oh, so these are some extracts, and here is the video. So Andy was our first University of Oregon presenter.
Yes, it's a little difficult in a webinar context because I can't see the faces of my students out in the world. I can't see if you are nodding or smiling or sleeping or what you're doing out there. That's okay. I will assume that everyone is listening carefully to my words. You can see on the first slide here, overview of language assessment. That is my goal for this 1-hour workshop today. So I would like to start with a little cartoon. The cartoon has to do with assessment, and this is what we're talking about. So let me just give an overview of this cartoon, if you don't mind. You can see the students here. I see a bird, for example. I see a monkey. I see, what is that, a penguin, an elephant, a fish, a seal, and a dog. So in terms of students, we would say there is good diversity here. There's a diversity of students. Some of them have 2 legs, some of them have 4 legs, some of them live in the water, some of them live on the land. A wide range of diversity in terms of students. And yeah, yes.
This is Albina talking. You're
yes,
from e-teacher program.
Nice to see you. Nice to hear you. Sorry.
I would like to tell you that your program is really great, one of the greatest programs. And I've been using your materials in my teacher training in the updated curriculum. ABCD model is just,
yes,
such a brilliant thing, And I even shared that experience on CAST conference with Tatiana Lityakina, our CAST president. And participants of that training, my masterclass was really delighted. Thank you very much for your presentation. This program and your Oregon universities, especially this program about assessment, is just, I don't know, superb. Thank you so much for your information. Really glad to hear you finally.
Yeah, it's great to hear your voice too. I really appreciate having you here, and I appreciate all of your positive feedback. It makes me happy to hear that some information that I have shared with you or with others has also been shared further. And that's one of the great things about being a teacher or being a teacher trainer. We teach people things, and then those people go out and teach other people as well, and it's a cascading process that makes me very happy to hear that. So thank you, I appreciate that.
So yeah, Andy's presentation was very much successful, and teachers want to know more about rubric because they don't know what's that.
Okay, so we have a question back to Grammar Bites from Tatiana. Grammar Bite presents grammar not only with rules. Okay, yeah, so let's look at some of the exercises just to get an idea. Interactive exercises, let's look at this one. Recognizing comma splices and fused sentences. A comma splice contains 2 main clauses illegally joined by a comma. This is what the problem looks like. So you have a clause or a sentence, there's a comma, and then another one. And then we have a skull. I guess the skull means that that's wrong. You're not supposed to do that. A fused sentence contains 2 main clauses, illegally run together with no punctuation at others. So we sometimes call those run-on sentences too. So it explains it. So here's our explanation. As a writer, you must keep in mind that these make you look like an amateur. All prizes in this exercise are cyber, so I can win prizes. So sentence number 1. Julie is a real hypochondriac when her stomach hurts. She is certain that she has a bleeding ulcer, and if she has a backache, she believes that she has cancer of the spine. Wow, that sentence needs help. Is it a comma splice? Use your mouse and open the left door. Is it a fused sentence? Open the right door. What should I do, guys? Help me out here. Send me a message.
So we're trying to make them more interactive.
Left door or the right door? Somebody send me a text so I know what to do. Let's go back up and look again. Is it a comma splice?
Tatiana and Maya think it is left door.
Okay, we got 2 for left. All right, we're going to try left. You're right. Left. You lose. Oh, the sentence did not contain a comma splice? Oh, you get to keep the cow though. Look at that. You get the cow. That's exciting. Okay, but you don't want the cow anyway. What happens if we choose the right door? All right. You win a cool cyber card. The sentence was fused. So get an explanation. Go to the next one. I'm sorry?
Leslie, this is just background noise from the kids.
Yeah, we have these webinars when it is evening in Kazakhstan. Some
All right,
teachers
well, a cow or a car, those are both really cool prizes. So, Chomp Chomp is a little bit silly. It's kind of like silly grammar. But what I like about it pedagogically is it gives you the example. It gives you a choice, so there's learner choice. You make a choice, and then it gives you the explanation. And maybe you have a little bit of fun along the way. So, yes.
And we had two speakers from Castles, Stephanie Knight and Christopher Doradix. Yeah.
Good evening, dear participants, and good morning, dear
It
speakers.
is 7 a.m. here
Motivation.
and 9 p.m. there.
Games increase motivation because when students find them to be relevant. So we work really hard at Castles to pick games that students will connect to in some way so that they are motivated to learn the language within the game. So now I want to just change my screen one more time and give you a quick, we're going to play a game. But for this, I will need your help. So if you will, it'll be easier since I have to share my screen if you'll unmute yourself. But Yelena, you feel free to tell me what people are answering if they feel more comfortable chatting. But this game essentially is an adventure game, and you have to choose what happens, you have to choose from a variety of actions before you take your next step. The app is actually in Oregon. If we were in Oregon, all of us together, we could actually play this game outside, and you have to go to different places. But this is a version that allows us to play.
Some kids are helping moms to learn.
And we can pick 7 more items. So here are our choices.
Well, first aid kit.
First aid kit.
Flashlight and matches.
Yes. Some matches.
All right.
Food. Take food.
Knife.
Food. Food. Please say food. Yeah, thanks. Knife.
Water.
We have water already.
But we can always get more, so we can get more food and more water.
Okay.
More food, more water.
Okay.
Okay, so and after the webinars, we sent participants some feedback forms where they can also ask questions to the speakers, and speakers get some feedback, so what can be improved. This is for the team, and so comments for the speaker, comments for the team, and questions. And then I make sure I can collect all the questions, send to the speaker, and then the speaker follow up. Actually, I think Leslie had more questions and more participants that have completed the form. So usually our mailing list, this is Leslie's, our mailing list is more than 100 English teachers in Kazakhstan, but because of time difference and also our teachers are busy, so was the webinar useful? Some comments, would you like, what can be improved, comments and questions. So, and I always send the participants the link to the recording of the webinar so they can share it with their colleagues and can watch it if they missed the webinar. And KazT Association issues certificates for both participants and the speakers. So, and now these webinars are becoming more popular. Before we were running them once a month, now we switched for 3 weeks, once in 3 weeks. So, and if you are interested in being a speaker in such webinar, please contact me. I will send you a form and we will discuss what's the best time for you. But usually we do it early in the morning here because there it is late in the evening. And so we will be happy to host you as a speaker.
Yelena, what platform do you use?
I use Zoom, and I have premium account, so it can host about 100 participants. So actually maximum I think we had 45. Yeah. So we still have some available places. And I have an assistant, so she helps me with sending participants some reminding email, informing them a week, a day before, 2 days before, 1 hour before the webinar. She collects all the data and then send it to KazT, and then they issue certificates. So we will help you with. So the only thing you have to do is just to present for 1 hour. And you are also you are welcome to share. I will share these webinars. There were 5 of them. So the first webinar I did myself, and second we had Mark. I've mentioned him today. Mark Saxby from UK, a teacher trainer, and then Andy, Leslie, and Christopher and Stephanie from Castles. So we will have a speaker from Kazakhstan in March, and then Jennifer Rice agreed to make a presentation in April. So we have some spots available starting from May, or end of April, yeah. Okay, so my last activity that I'm going to speak today is cooperation between AEI and Kazakhstan universities. So there are about 170 universities in Kazakhstan, and over 70 of them are state ones, and state universities receive significant financial support from the Ministry of Education and Science. That is why all these universities are interested in some online training for teachers, online courses for students, inviting foreign faculty, student exchange, internships for master and PhD students. And every Tuesday, Leslie and I have a meeting, and we have some progress in cooperation with these universities. First, I was approaching only my university, ECNF University in Aktau, but then I thought, why don't we approach all of them, not all of them, but the top ones who are really interested in cooperation and bringing foreign teachers. And I have a lot of colleagues in these universities because actually I worked at 5 of them during my 20 years career, and all of them, the ones that we contacted, they already expressed some interest in cooperating, and we are working now on the proposals for them. But of course, all of them have different areas of interest. Some of them are interested only in online courses. Others would like to bring some faculty, both for short term and for long term, maybe for a term or 2 terms, or maybe for a short teacher training. Well, it is slow, but I think that anyway, at some stage we will come up with some great projects, and it will provide an opportunity for you to go and teach and train our teachers in Kazakhstan, because there is a gap of English teachers in Kazakhstan, because when we were, so when Soviet Union collapsed, there was a kind of crisis in teacher training. Nobody wanted to be a teacher because it is very low paid job. And so teachers who were trained during Soviet Union time, they either retired or passed away. And then there is a gap, and new young teachers, they are very inspired and motivated, but the problem is in the training. So they would like to learn, and they are attending some trainings, and we are helping them with these professional development webinars. I hope they at least guide them somewhere. So, and also I googled and found that a lot of Kazakhstan language companies, not only universities, are posting some vacancies and positions via TEFL and TESOL websites. I was surprised to see some not very big companies there, but because of this program of transition of science teaching in English soon, the ministry places some order for companies to train these teachers, and that's why these teachers are bringing foreign speakers and people who have either TESOL certificate or CELTA certificate. So, because teachers, there are not, so if there are such trainers among Kazakhstan people, I think there can be 5 or 10, and this is not enough for such a big country. So, if you are interested in going to Kazakhstan, teaching in Kazakhstan, let's talk about it more, and I'm happy to share this information with you. So, of course, there are some challenges in going to some other countries to teach, and in Andy's class for TESOL master students, I was speaking about some challenges about teaching in Kazakhstan. But I think that, first of all, Kazakhstan is a very safe country. So, of course, there is some there are some crimes, but not so many, and it is safe to go outside at night even. And also now we are making transition to Latin alphabet. At least you can read outside the signs, because, for example, if you go to Japan or China, I think you can't. Yeah. So, and there are more people who learn English and their level is, at least they can explain you where to go and what to do. So you are always welcome to Kazakhstan.
I have a question. What is the U.S., how is the U.S. State Department involved in teacher training? Do you happen to know?
So actually before coming here, there was a great project by U.S. State Department, and they were trying to organize English language training for journalists. And a lot of, I think British Council got this project. So, and the KST Association were also applying, but maybe their proposal was not so competitive. So, but there are a lot of programs provided by US State Department. And actually now there are 9 Fulbrights in US via United States Department, and there are some FLTAs and master students also. Yeah, there are several programs, and if you just go to the website of the American Embassy and Kazakhstan, you can find this information there.
So what is, I have another question in regards to your future. How do you envision your work when you return to Kazakhstan?
So actually, I think, so I will go back to my Yelena University while I was here. A new rector was appointed and the name of the university changed. Before it was Caspian State University of Technology and Engineering, named after Shakhmardan Yesenov. So now it's just Yesenov University. I work for the Department of Foreign Languages, but there are a lot of changes at the university now, and they are making some special attention to language teaching and teacher training. Actually, in May, most of the faculty, even not from English department, are going to take IELTS. So this is very challenging for them, I'm sure. And they are having, so during winter break, they were having English classes 4 hours a day, every day.
Wow.
Well,
on top of their work.
Yeah, actually, I think this is not the most efficient thing to teach people foreign language, but yeah, so I think that I will, first of all, I would like to give back and to provide some more training for teachers there. I also was invited many times to, we have advanced Institute of Advanced Training for Teachers. So, and all school teachers come for short-term training, and I'm sometimes invited to run some workshops for them. This is one area. Then I would like to continue my, actually I hope to finish my quality matter studies here and maybe speak to our rector to start doing some online courses, like a pilot project. And I have many plans, so when I go back, I think I have to sit down and decide what I want to focus at. But definitely I would like to go for online training. Yeah. And I'm sure that I will be continuing these professional development webinars for teachers, so even if I leave, you are always welcome to become a speaker.
Yelena, you're going to be here until when?
Actually, our flight back is 24th of June, so there is still time. Well, a little bit half. Yeah. So my program is 10 months, so, and 6 months have passed, now 4 months left.
About half of winter and all of spring term.
Yeah.
Wow. It's very exciting.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Turkmenistan?
No, but actually it's very close to our city. Maybe 2-hour drive, maybe less.
Yeah. That's where you lived, right?
I'm going there in a couple of weeks too.
Oh, really?
I live there as an English language fellow, and then I'm going there as a specialist in a couple of weeks during spring break. That's why I was asking.
Nice. We had English language fellow, and he was working for 3 years actually, and now he's working in Korea. And I've included some talk with him during my presentation for master students about challenges, because he was speaking about some challenges in teaching in Kazakhstan. Yeah.
Do you think they would be open to, are they open to things like active learning models and learn how to kind of, because I'm assuming like most places in the world that they follow the textbook very, very closely and work through exercise A, exercise B, exercise C. But what I was noticing in Peru, and the work I was doing in Peru just now, was that they're, in many cases, they're just working exercise A, exercise B, exercise C. And so the students can do it perfectly when it's kind of mechanical and robotic, but then they can't put the pieces together at all to create real communicative situations. So is that something that teachers are looking for, those kinds of
Thank you very much for your question, because just before this presentation, I was writing a post for my quality matters discussion workshop. So what kind of instructional strategies would you use do you use in your face-to-face course, and how you will apply it to your online course? So actually our teachers are very flexible and they like learning new things, and I think the ministry, but I read a lot of articles about what is happening in education both in schools and universities now, and the ministry is going to give more freedom to the universities. So actually the department decides what will be included in the course, and it is for the teacher to decide how he will do it, but of course the department will review and discuss it. So I'm sure they would love to use this active learning. And I've mentioned that we had a teacher trainer from UK in 2015, and he was doing some workshops and showed our teachers some active learning strategies, some group work and critical thinking, and also this English language fellow. So, and they are happy to welcome it and use it in their teaching. But the problem is that I think we should make this teacher training by foreign teachers, mostly from UK and US, more regular. Because we get one piece from here, one piece from there, but there is no continuity, and some structure and logic. So this is what we need.
Right. It ends up being kind of piecemeal, right?
And I hope that if we manage to build this cooperation and some long-term contract, or it will be maybe start with some pilot project and then continue, so it will bring some result finally. I think it should be more structured, more continuing and long-term.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
What kind of resources do you have there that are available to the teachers? I'm thinking of methodology books like from Paul Nation. Do you have things like that available there in Kazakhstan?
Well, actually, most of the teachers at my department, and they're still using it for students, they are some old Soviet methods of English, teaching English methods books.
Right.
Yeah.
But now people began to understand that this is something out of date, and they should use some international methods. So a lot of teachers begin to take TKT test, teacher training test, teacher knowledge test, sorry, and where they begin to understand what are the methods used worldwide, and these are completely something different.
Plus there are online resources now that didn't used to exist.
Yeah, so there are a lot of online resources and they interact, but I think that what will help is something continued and structured, because they take this from there, this from here, and then they just sometimes kind of put it together or don't know how to apply it. So what will help them, some workshops that will show in practice how to use in their own teaching.
I've also seen that teachers have some new ideas that they want to put in place in their classrooms, but the materials that the students have are also outdated, and they have to work with what the students have. They can't afford these fancy new textbooks, that might incorporate some of these ideas. So the teachers are more, constrained with what they can do because of the students. Is that your situation, or are the schools adopting new materials that are utilizing some of these best practices that you talked about?
So as for universities, every state university has this financial support from the ministry, and they have some special budget for buying books. And if the department orders some books, the university will always buy them. They keep buying books, and we always make an order in every January, actually, the fiscal year. So what books we need, we see how many students, so it's not a problem. But as for schools, so the ministry makes teachers use some textbooks that were created in Kazakhstan, and there was so much discussion and very negative discussion, even from the parents, because these books were written in a week by some person that nobody knows. Right. So what happened? So it's sorry to say that, but what happens? There is some budget, and then there is time you have to spend it. I was once in this situation. I was the head of academic mobility department, and I was appointed in September, and there were some big budget for inviting visiting scholars, and they said you have to spend it by December. I said, but how? And the ministry tells us what you can spend it for. So then I started approaching heads of department, which scholar or which professor would you like to invite? They say, oh, we don't want anybody. We are happy with ourselves. So then I started convincing them that it will cost nothing to you. Please invite, they will provide some new ideas, will help you with some projects. But at that time also the problem was the language. So most of the professors who came, I tried to invite them from CIS countries because at least they spoke Russian. But we had some trainers, some professors from English-speaking countries, and then provided translation or maybe invited some students who had some English language knowledge. And this is another problem, that some English teachers' level is A2 or B1. So if we invite, for example, a foreign trainer, so he or she should adapt his language, strategies, and methods, and everything he's going to use in classroom to their level. And this is another challenge.
So in Turkmenistan, it's the internet is highly restricted. And so restricted in fact that they can't even get, they're not allowed to have, they can't get YouTube. So they don't have any access to YouTube videos for educational videos. Google, I understand, they don't have access to as well. And so I'm wondering,
no, we don't have
that problem.
How do they survive?
No, we don't have this problem. I think the government restricts some maybe political news, because sometimes when something political happened, I asked my colleagues abroad, and they have contradictory, opposite information. But as for using YouTube, Google, Skype, Facebook, you can use everything. And also at the university we have Wi-Fi, and it's so I can use it in classroom, and it's rather high speed. The only thing I remember that one rector, they blocked some websites, and some of them was British Council website. So I went to the IT department and I said, I need this website in my classroom. So then when they reviewed it and saw that there is no entertainment, I think Одноклассники is blocked. So Одноклассники is a social media website like Facebook. we call it classmates, so I think it was blocked too because some of their staff, not the faculty, were using them to texting and not working.
Yeah. That's different.
Okay.
So, and I think we have good internet because this time I was in London and they could not find good Wi-Fi, or 4G was working very badly, and I was very surprised. I even cancelled one online meeting. I said I can't do that because I cannot find. Maybe I was in some wrong spot.
That was in London, you said?
Yeah. And I was surprised.
Wow. Yeah.
So we don't have problem with internet, and our internet providing companies, they are improving and even lowering the cost. For example, they offer some plans. For example, if you take a plan with a SIM card, you will pay only $5 a month for all calls within Kazakhstan and non-limited mobile internet. And it will be $5 only. Yeah.
Wow.
I'd like to put in a plug. I did one of the webinars that she's inviting us to do.
They watched it.
And she set it up with Zoom, which I had not used before, and it was fabulous. We had multiple connections outside in the main town, and it was clear as a bell. She organized it beautifully, so just putting in a plug for that.
Britt and I are giving one. I've never used Zoom before either, but she and I are doing. We're reprising our English USA one, and they want us to give a webinar on Zoom.
Yeah, so Yelena did a fabulous job setting it up and moderating it.
Get a tutorial before we have to do it.
It worked great. It was beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, I learned a lot. Actually, I learned from ICF coaches. Last year, I was volunteering for International Coaching Federation, and they were running some webinars too. And actually, this is where I learned from how to run the webinars, how to organize, how to collect feedback, how to send the participants all the information. So this volunteer job was very rewarding for me because I've learned so much.
Super useful.
Yeah.
Great.
And also in my TOEFL and IELTS online course training, I'm offering a session with an ICF coach who is my friend. So she will coach the student how to get a higher score, because I think these coach sessions help you develop personally and professionally a lot. Yeah.
My brain is popping with ideas right now. I'm trying to think of different possibilities. This is very exciting.
Yeah, and thank you so much for inviting me to present and for hosting me at AEI, because actually this is an ideal place for me, for my proposal and for my project and for my future professional development, because what I've learned in this not half a year yet, I think I didn't learn so much during all my life. And we don't have a sabbatical in our country. I know that in some countries there is sabbatical for some professors, and I really understand the benefit of it, because you can really reload your brain and so many ideas come to your head, and you know where to move further and how to give back to your colleagues later.
Exactly.
Yeah. So this is a great program, and thanks U.S. Department of State also for giving me this scholarship.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
It's been so stimulating and wonderful to have you here.
Yeah. So I will be happy to share the links to the videos and all the materials and feedback. So I will send it to Cheryl, and she will include it in the emissive. And also some colleagues who are not able to observe